everyone. Welcome back to Sips and Scripts. Today I am going to be chatting with you about modesty and really giving you my breakdown on what modesty is and why I made a change and decided to be more modest with how I was dressing myself. As a lot of you know, I did not used to dress modest at all whatsoever. If anything, I was like, you got it, flaunt it type of attitude. And that was very worldly of me to do. And I have learned so much in such a short amount of time about modesty and loving my body. So I'm going to start up reading two scriptures out of the Bible. So the first one I got for you guys, I got my handy dandy notebook, but is 1 Timothy 2:9-10. Likewise, also that women should adorn themselves in respectful apparel with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire, but with what is proper for women who profess godliness with good works. And then 2 Peter 3:3-4. Do not let your adoring be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear, but let your adoring be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. So, the verses pretty much just say it as it is, that we're not supposed to put our value in this world or let that value be the things that we wear and how we're presenting ourselves in this world. And I was hugely at fault in doing that. I used to go out, like I said, if you got it, you flaunt it. I flaunted a lot of things that I should not have been flaunting, that were not meant for the world. And when I got dressed, it was really while I was dressing like this, I didn't think that I was doing this for others, to be really honest. I was like, no, I look good. That's why I'm dressing like this. That's why I walk around like this. And honestly, I was really full of myself too, but I feel like that was a false attitude, this person that I had made that was confident in what she was doing, and look at me, and da 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 da. And it was very self-seeking, the way that I was dressing and throwing myself out there, and basically prostituting myself out for approval of others. And like I said, back then, I really didn't think I was doing anything wrong. But the thing is, when I broke it down and started spending more time with God, I slowly started to see that I was making these choices to get the approval of others, to get those likes, on Instagram, and to get the views and all of that stuff. And it wasn't really me. And when it came down to it, people were just liking what they saw, but they weren't seeing me. Of course, there would be people that were like, oh, you're so sweet, da 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 da. But, along with dressing in a really worldly way, trying to get things, like I was saying, I also had this false personality going out there. Yeah, I was still super sweet and all this stuff, but it was still for the likes. It was still for all of these things. And I'm not taking away that I was a nice person or a sweet person, because I am a nice person and a sweet person, but I was being nice and I was being sweet for other reasons than the fact that I am nice and sweet. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So yeah, I was braiding my hair, putting on gold, wearing these clothes out into the world to seek fulfillment from other people and other things, social media, whatever. And the thing is, it never really fulfilled me. I always just felt icky and like it wasn't enough and like I needed to do more. And the more I did, the more tied up in the world I became. And I started like really going after trends. Trends, guys, just got me like, oh. But I started really like going after these trends. And a lot of trends these days are provocative. They're provocative for a reason, okay? And the more I was getting into all these stuff and buying these things because they were trendy and wanting to stay on trend and stay popular and all these things, the more I was losing my own identity. Sorry if I found that. I was losing my own identity, and I was finding my identity in the world. And the world is a liar. The world is the enemy. And I'm not saying that people are out there are the enemy and so wrong and da 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 da. Okay. But I am saying that I was losing myself trying to appease others and staying on top for Instagram, for whatever social media I was doing at the time, TikTok. That wasn't who I was, and I knew it inside, and it was so hard to find any happiness. When God did take me out of the situation and give me my identity, He, after a month or so, told me, we need to change this. And so it wasn't on my own accord that I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not dressing modest. I should change how I dress and da da da. And no, it wasn't like that. It was like this gentle voice saying, these clothes are not who I am. And it was almost like that realization of going through my clothes and be like, I can't wear anything because I also can't wear this to church. Like, I can't wear any of these things to church. Not that, I would be shamed or anything, because trust me, I wore these things to church and no one shamed me or anything, because luckily those people did know my heart and they did see me and they were just waiting for Miss Mallory to come out. So, but it was like this inner heart healing realization that this is not appropriate anymore. Like, I don't need to wear these clothes. I don't need to have everything out all the time for everyone. Like, some things are meant to be intimate for you and your husband and yourself. Some parts of your body are sacred, special things, okay? And you need to have that kind of respect for your own body. You are worth so much more than these pieces of clothing and these jewelry and how you do your hair, how you do your makeup. There's just so much more worth in who the person is inside. And when you're putting on all these things, the flashy jewelry, the hair, the makeup, all these things, it's covering up who is inside. It's a distraction. So, not saying that you can't have your hair done, you can't have, your jewelry and your makeup, all of that. But there's a difference when you're doing that for the world than how you're doing that for God. There is a difference. There is a visual difference that you will see when someone is dressing for the world and someone is dressing for God. And that has been the change in my life. I've always loved fashion. I think it's so much fun. Like, I just love to go shopping. I do. I love going shopping. I literally went out today. I didn't buy anything, but I literally went out today and I just have fun. I think they're pretty things. But I'm also a lot more conscious when I go out. I remember going to the mall when I was first trying to figure out this modesty situation. And it was like my eyes had been finally open to what the world sees as beautiful and what God sees as beautiful. And so when I went to the mall, I didn't buy hardly anything. There was one store that I went to, and that was the only place where I was able to get stuff, because I went into so many different stores and they just weren't modest. They were basically like tank tops that were bras that you wear out. And like I said, I used to wear all this stuff all the time, crop tops that show way too much, super crop tops, really short shorts, all of that kind of stuff. And in my heart, I just knew that I didn't need to show my chest. I didn't need to show my belly button. I didn't need to have my booty hanging out. These things can be covered, honey. They can be covered. You don't have to show that to prove how beautiful you are. People can see how beautiful you are in your baggy t-shirts. You don't need to do anything else. But I was going around and I wasn't even able to really buy anything because I could just finally see that, God wouldn't want me to be walking around showing these things off to everyone. He made me so special and so beautiful and so sacred. And those things I need to keep sacred and I need to keep special. So even with been down the road that I was, with OnlyFans and that stuff and have showing my body before, it doesn't mean that you have to keep doing that. You can make that change and it's okay. You don't have to stay down that road because that's already what you've been doing. Everyone's already seen whatever. It doesn't matter. If you have a heart change and you're changing your heart for God and really setting out and letting the beauty that He created shine through, which is who you are inside, then make that change, honey. No one's holding you back. Go do it. Go get it. Get some. But it broke my heart walking around the mall and seeing girls who are around 18, maybe even younger. I would say probably like 16 through 19, wearing basically bras in the mall, or were like wearing bras in the mall with their booty cheeks hanging out, and just wanting to cover them up and tell them how worthy they are and how beautiful they are. And yeah, I don't know. That's my thought. That's my experience with that whole portion. So another thing that I really want to touch on really falls into this scripture. It's Romans 13:14. But put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh to gratify its desires. So that kind of goes back into, what the world says is beautiful with these trends. And y'all know, like I said, the crop tops, letting everything hang out, and what celebrities are wearing that young girls are wanting to copy. These are, what does it say? And make no provision for the flesh. So this is what the world is saying. This is what your flesh is saying. I want to be like this girl. Like, she's popular. She's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, she is beautiful. Yeah, she does have a lot of followers. I'm not saying that she doesn't. But hold the phone. It says, and make no provision for the flesh. So when you're seeing that and you're idolizing it, saying, I want to be like that, when you have that mindset, you need to make sure that you're going before God and go like, hey, God, does this line up with your word? And I guarantee you it's not, because you're idolizing this human that's dressed a certain way and your flesh wants to be like that. When you're wanting to be like that and you're like going into your flesh, you're not connecting with the spirit. You're not like going to God and saying, hey, this is what I was thinking, God. Because I guarantee you, if you go to him, you're like, she's wearing that mini bedazzled skirt, those high heels, the crop top. And when you bring that to God, you're like, God, this is what I want. I guarantee you he's not going to be like, yeah, that's great, honey. No, he's going to be like, you don't need any of that. You don't need any of it. You're so beautiful. Look at you right now. Why would you want to be like them when I created you to be this? I love him so much. I love God, guys. But he just created you to be so beautifully and uniquely you, and not have all of these things on you that are covering up how beautiful he created you. The girl that's in here, the guy that's in here, I know that guys do this too. We want to wear all the bling. We want to have the chains or whatever. We want to wear whatever brand, the jeans, the shirts, whatever is trendy for guys. And that, like I said, the thing is, you can still wear cool, trendy, awesome things, but like, is it glorifying to God? Is what you really need to ask yourself when you're going through this transition and breaking it down. Is this something I would wear to church and would go up to the altar and just like be able to throw my hands up and give glory to God? Honestly, that's probably the biggest thing that I use right now, because sometimes I'm on Pinterest, I'm like, oh, that's cute. But, but I wouldn't wear it like that. When I go up to the altar during worship and I pray, I want to make sure that when I lift my hands up, there is nothing that I have to worry about. There is no midriff that's going to be hanging out for everyone to see. That when I'm laying on the floor, just slayed in the spirit on the floor, there's nothing anyone's going to see. That I can just be in the moment with God because I don't have to worry about what is on me. Isn't that so silly to think? That there are some people that can't just be under the glory of God and just go for whatever is thrown at them because of what they are wearing. You're going to let your apparel hold you back, your clothing, your jewelry, whatever it is. If it is holding you back from worshiping God, that should be your first indication something really needs to change here. Something really needs to change. So, I just really feel so strongly that when it comes to modesty, you need to be asking, does this glorify God? Can I go stand before God and just worship him and not have to worry about anything? Like, I'm solid, I'm good, let's go. And it's been a life-changing transition thing that I've gone through with modesty, coming from someone that was very provocative and now is not. And I still feel like me. I don't want anyone to think that, oh, because I can't wear these clothes, like I'm going to have to change myself. I'm going to have to wear other things. No. I did go through a little phase where I felt really awkward in the clothes that I was wearing, but you will figure it out. You're going to find your style, the style that God has already placed on your heart. Like when he created you, like if you like clothes and fashion stuff, that's something that's like a gift he gave you. That's something that's a part of who you are and your identity. And he wants you to use that, but he wants you to use it in a way that is glorifying to him. Like I loved all that stuff. And it took me a while to figure out, what style fit me afterwards. Because like I said, I was also, just trying to buy all the trends. And when it came down to it, I didn't even know what I liked anymore because I was so wrapped up in the world, in what the world was telling me I should like. And now that I've gone through this process, this transition, and have been really patient, and I've had to be really forgiving. My husband has been really forgiving and patient with it also, because clothes cost money, honey. But I love my style now, and I feel so free and happy and just like chill, like I feel like I am glorifying God when I'm going out, saying, yeah, I am a Christian woman. Like, look, like, and this is what God did. Like, this is my heavenly style, it's such a good feeling to know that I get to go out. I get to feel confident. I get to feel good. And I also get to do the work of God wherever he leads me, wherever he wills me. I get to do it, and I get to be cute, and it's modest. So with modesty, it isn't like, you're just I don't even know. I feel like girls are always like, I'm just gonna have to cover up and I'm not gonna be able to wear anything. And I say that because that was my mindset. Okay. I'm like, I'm not gonna wear anything. I have to figure out how to do this. And I kind of like went business attire, more structured at first. And I am not that. I am very like fun, vibrant, and that's who God created me to be. And it comes out now in my modesty, in the apparel and the clothing I wear. And I think that's so cool. I think that's so cool that God created it like that. He just like takes these things about who you are, things from your personality that he instilled in you. And that when you really dress to glorify God, those things will come out in your apparel or how you dress in your day-to-day life. And it's really cool. It's like an art form, I swear. But that's all I got for you guys today on modesty. And I hope that really helped you. That's just my take on modesty, what I've experienced so far within the last few months, going through this walk with God, finding modesty and what that looks like. And all I got to say is don't stress about it. Have fun with it. Trust in God. Glorify him. Be in his word. And honey, everything's going to work out. And you are beautiful right now. And you're going to be beautiful always. And there is not one item of clothing, jewelry, how you do your hair, how you do your makeup, that is going to take away from exactly just how beautiful God made you. Okay? Okay, guys, have a great day. I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye!